Hello, engineering drafting. This is a how-to for plate SKT-7. That is sketching plate number 7. So let's take a look at the plate. Here we go. And in this plate, reading the instructions, it says using the technique for drawing a 4-center ellipse. That's what we did in the last plate. And referring to the example, sketch the cylinders indicated in each problem. Note the visible end is marked and the diagonal lines that determine the location of the visible edges are given. And so in this situation, they tell us that this is what's visible, okay, as far as the end of what you can see. So make sure that you're working in the right direction. In other words, the visible end is the end that we're going to be able to see that circle on, or in this case, the ellipse. Okay, so we'll start out with one that's fairly small, just like that. It's going to make it a little bit easier. So remember, we want to match up. So once again, I'm using my red pen, but you would want to use a sketching pencil like a 6H to begin with, and then go over that and make it darker. The trick here is to try to get those to be nice and smooth around the corners as you're coming around, and it's always okay to rotate this around so that you are basically doing the same motion as you go. Those are usually the easy ones, and then the more difficult ones, because they need to come out and come back around, although it looks like they got a little bit of a target made there for me. So I'm coming around like that, and I'll rotate my paper. That looks pretty good. So I start out with that, and then of course up here on the end that is not visible, I just need to do just that one edge and come a little bit further around with it, because essentially I need to start a line, a solid line, that's going to start about at that point where it disappears, okay, which is a little bit difficult to determine, but I'm going to be connecting that one spot to there, so I don't want to come too far back around where it disappears from the sight. I'm going to use a couple of dots there to help my eye find it, and the same thing is true for up here. We'll come around just a little bit to be able to see where that edge disappears from your line of sight. Okay, so that's pretty good there. Let me round that out a little bit. We'll be doing the same thing here, where this is the visible end, and we would see that surface. It would come down a little bit before it disappears, and we'll connect. So the key here is to look at your example as much as you can. Here in the lower left hand corner, this is the visible end, so we'll be sketching in our cylinder up top here like that, and then we would have this end here, and then our lines going this way. So this is where that full ellipse would show up. Over here, this is the visible end, and just like that, this is just a little bit larger. This is the visible end here. Okay, so I think you should be able to get that. It takes a little practice. Take your time. Make sure you're following those general rules for sketching, and do the best that you can. I'm going to come back with a final the final product in just a second. So here we got the final product. There's those two at the top, and we have the two in the lower left. and the 2 on the right hand side. Now of course you'd want to do that nice and dark, nice dark lines. Make sure you letter in your name. Should be a piece of cake.